So I really want to talk a little bit about getting your ICP, your ideal customer profile, completely nailed, completely right, because this is costing businesses a lot. We've done some research and high ICP accounts are only making up 7% of revenue, right? That's down from 33%. That's worrying. That's saying that your ideal customer, companies only generating 7% of their revenue from there. And certainly SMEs in particular. And that's going to cause problems, because that means you're going to be getting your wrong type of customers in, which is going to create a lot of churn further down the line. It makes it difficult to renew them, difficult to upsell them, difficult to cross-sell them, and keeps their NRR score low, net revenue return score much lower, because it's the knock-on effects of that as well. And the reason why it's gone down is because the markets have gone tougher and companies now are just trying to get in whatever they can. But again, there's a lot of knock-on effects with that, right? That also puts a lot of strain on the business, a lot of churn in the business, a lot of pressure on the business. So this is why it's so important to get the ICP right. And to get the ICP right, there's a lot to it, but there are certain things that we really recommend our clients focus on. And the first thing is really understanding the firmographics of that firm, understanding what type of companies you want to go for in detail. What's the revenue size? Why are you going for that revenue size? Where are they based? What geographic locations? How many people typically are in those firms? Okay. What markets are they serving? What industries are they serving? Things like that we call the firmographics. Technographics is understanding their technology, understanding what they're using, especially if you're a tech firm, but it doesn't even necessarily nowadays. Technology is involved in everything. So even understanding down things to technology and AI that they're using, or that you can use to actually attract them, or that will relate to them. The other one is behavioral characteristics. Like, do you understand the real behavior of those ICPs? If it was an animal that you were describing their behavior, if there was a tiger, you'd be able to describe a tiger's behavior, right? Can you do the same with your ICP clients? That's so important. You need to know almost like how the DNA of the business is and how it thinks, the people within those type of businesses. How does that machine move? What about their readiness indicators? What would your ideal customer profile, you need to really define is, what would mean this business is very ready and likely to buy from us, right? And put down all, just the metrics, but all those points that would indicate that. Because again, this is going to make it so much more easier for you to target them and win those deals. Understanding, the next one is understanding the primary problems that you solve, primary problems that they need solving. Okay, what do they need to have solved? Why is that so important for them? What is that? How is that affecting their business? And how do you then serve that better than anyone else? Have you got that very, very defined? A lot of companies have think they have that, but actually when we look at it, they haven't. And then what's the best fit signals? This is linked to the readiness indicators, but do you have a list do you have a list of what would really make those customers ready? So would you have a list that would really help you to understand what makes those type of customers a best fit for your business? Not just in terms of a best fit so that you can win the deals initially, should I say, but also a best fit so that you can grow those accounts. So you can cross-sell and upsell and they're likely to retain. But equally what's so important is who is not a fit. That is so critical, because as we discussed before, you need to be going after not just the total market, but the relevant market. Not just bringing in all types of customers, but bringing the right type of customers if you want sustainable and scalable business. And knowing what is the wrong type of customers to go for will really help your sales and marketing teams not waste energy, time. And also it means that further down the line, you are not going to be running into problems. Your customer success teams are not going to run into problems, and they're going to be more likely to upsell and cross-sell and renew. So that's why really getting the ICP is really, really important. And we found that when deals that are targeted to the correct ICP, the win rate of those deals improved by 50%. That's a lot. So if you can target your right ICP, you've got a much higher chance of conversion. The other thing is around qualification. Qualified deals are 3 times more likely to come through. And again, have you got a proper qualification system built into your sales and revenue engine? And one more point as well is about length of time, because deals that are converting, deals are taking a lot more longer to convert in general, right? Now, if it does depend, this point does depend on the deal size, the original deal size. However, typically if they go over 90 days, there's only a 20% chance of conversion. So basically, the shorter sales cycle, it not only brings in revenue quicker for your business, but it actually increases your conversion chances. Now, again, that is depend on the deal size, but whatever it is, whether it's a 6-month conversion or 3-month sales cycle or 6-month sales cycle or 12-month one, the quicker you can bring that in, the higher that conversion rate is going to happen. And one final point is training. It's so important to train your sales teams or your revenue generation teams, because those that are well trained are 60% more likely to hit quota. So a few points to think there from a very much a sales and revenue point of view. If you're a leader, are you thinking about those things? Are you getting it right? If you like this video, then do remember to comment, like, or subscribe. And if you'd like to find out any more, if you'd like to discuss about developing your revenue engine, then do send us a message. We'd love to talk.